Welcome to ChannelX TV. Delighted to be here with Gianfranco today from the Natura Avon group. So, Gianfranco, first of all, tell us who you are and a bit about yourself.
Yeah, sure, Chris. Yeah, well, thank you very much. Thanks for inviting me to speak to your audience. Yes, obviously, Gianfranco. And if I talk about my career, the majority of my career has been agency side. So I've had the privilege of working with a number of agencies, predominantly in the data CRM space, looking after brands, their strategies around retention CRM, created CRM and analytics teams in a variety of agencies. So I had the privilege of, one of the privileges of working agency side is you get to work with amazing brands. So I've looked after the CRM programs for EasyJet, for Compare the Market, helped Disney reset their CRM vision, launched a loyalty card with the old PC World, as it was called when I was slightly younger. And then, fortunately, about 4 or 5 years ago, I got the opportunity to go and work for the Natura & Co. group.
And tell us about the Natura & Co. group, because they're really interesting. And Avon, one of their brands, goes back to probably before I was a child.
Yeah. And that's going back some, isn't it? Yeah. So when I joined the Natura group, there were 4 brands in the group, and those 4 brands were Aesop, the Australian-based beauty and skincare company, the BodyShop out of the UK, Avon International, which as you said is actually about 137 years old, and Natura in Latin America. When I joined, I was offered the role of global head of CRM at Aesop, which was a fantastic opportunity. It's an amazing brand that has fantastic products and an even better customer experience when you walk into one of their stores. And I had the opportunity there of resetting their CRM vision, building out the business case for the new technology that they needed to support that vision, and build out the global and regional teams to deliver on that vision. So that was an amazing 2.5 years. I then got the opportunity to work at group level. So the lead for CRM and personalization across those 4 amazing brands, and amazing brands as well, not only because of the culture within those brands and them being very purpose driven, but actually very, very different business models that we needed to contend with. So you've got the BodyShop and Aesop very much D2C based around stores, but moving into .com over the last 4 or 5 years. But then with Natura Latam and Avon International, very much focused around selling through their consultants and representatives, of whom jointly they have something like 8 million representatives around the world. Yeah, so very much
that's a big number to look after.
It is, yeah, and so it's much more of almost like a B2B2C operation in that instance. So great challenges and opportunities with those diverse business models.
And how's D2C changed over the years? Because I know when we go back 100 odd years with Avon, it was literally mainly ladies holding kind of house parties. But obviously,
but it is still mainly women. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, with Avon.
And models have changed over the years, especially the last couple of years with the pandemic, when obviously even BodyShop had their shops closed. What's moving the needle in D2C today?
Well, I think I'm glad you raised the pandemic, because I wasn't going to, but it's a good. But I think that what the pandemic did actually was it acted as an accelerator for a number of changes in retail that were already happening. And I think that I remember I had this conversation with someone a couple of weeks ago, actually. I remember about 10, 11 years ago using this term phygital, which is this combination of the physical and digital experience that you get with brands. And I think that what the pandemic did was accelerate that union of those two of those two words and those experiences. So I think that, as you said, with stores closing, digital became even more important to a number of brands. And so I think that finding the sweet spot, finding the balance between physical and digital has accelerated over the last 3 or 4 years. And that's, and that balance is different for different brands, but also different in terms of what the customer is trying to do at that particular time in their shopping journey, and as their relationship with the brand changes. So I think that's one big change. The customer experience, I think that we no longer think about the products being the be all and end all of the customer experience. Things like, making it easy for me to shop, whether that's researching, buying, giving feedback, returns, all of that has become super important, and is often a differentiator between products that can be very, very similar. And I think the way that we treat the term loyalty has certainly shifted over the last 4 or 5 years, and what we mean by loyalty as well. So I think those are 3 key areas that I've certainly worked on over the last 4 or 5 years in particular.
It's really interesting the way things are changing, and they're changing so fast now as well. So what can brands at ChannelX World expect to learn from you in your session? What can they expect to hear?
So my session, in terms of, I'm sitting on a panel with a couple of other fantastic brands, but certainly my perspective, as I've worked mainly in the CRM and personalization space, I think that I have a particular view in terms of the point of personalization. Yeah. So why do we personalize the experience? I have a term that I'll use during the day that I'll talk more about. That is, personalization without purpose is pointless. Yeah. And it's not about chasing the technology. It's about, why we're doing personalization to enhance the customer experience. Certainly my view around what is loyalty, and how brands can help understand how loyal customers are, and whether they actually are loyal, and what they're loyal to. They're 2 key areas that I'll talk to you during the session. And also, hopefully I can share my views and experience, whether it be on the panel or during any conversations I have during the day around, retention. How do we go about retaining customers in an ever more challenging and promiscuous world in terms of the consumer. So that's 2 or 3 things that I think that I'd like to try and share with the audience on the day.
So I'm looking forward to that. But also, what are you hoping to get for yourself out of the day? What connections are you looking to make? What types of brands and retailers are you looking to connect with? Well,
looking at, and obviously the day has those 3 tracks down it, and each of those tracks genuinely has, a wide variety of different brands on there, whether that be brands that are, D2C or working through marketplaces. You've got premium brands, luxury brands speaking on the day, and I'm a firm believer that actually good ideas cross industries, cross different types of retailers, cross business models. So looking to try and listen to as many of those brands, understand what their challenges and opportunities are, how they're looking after the customer, and how they're using technology to deliver on that. I think that they're some key things that I want to try and get out of what looks like an action-packed day.
Great, and look forward to meeting you in person on the day. And for everyone watching this, ChannelX World takes place on the 11th of October in London. If you'd like to hear from Gianfranco and all our other speakers from brands and retailers, you can get your tickets at ChannelXWorld.com. Get your ticket now, reserve your place. And Gianfranco, thank you so much for today, and really looking forward to hearing from you on the 11th of October.
A pleasure, Chris. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in October.